Okay, this is 6.6 systems of linear inequalities. The objectives to solve systems of linear inequalities by graphing and to model real-world situations using systems of linear inequalities. It's a lot like 6.5. We're going to be shading, and the big difference is you put two graphs on one because it's a system means two, kind of like we use substitution or elimination for. So we're going to put both of these graphs on this grid. And for the first one, since the y is solved for, the y is less than 2x minus 3, you can grab the m and the b right away. Your m in this problem is 2 over 1. Your b in this problem is negative 3. So I'll go down to the 3, plot that point, go up at a rate of up 2 over 1. I messed up. There we go. There. And there. Okay, perfect. So dotted line versus solid line. If there is not under a line underneath the inequality, it reads y is less than. This is a dotted line. Okay, we got the dotted line. And they're shading. You would shade below it because it reads y is less than. Now here's what's unique about today's. When you shade beneath it, notice I'm going to kind of use like a horizontal pattern, like so. It actually shows up really cool with your pencil if you do that. Versus the second one, we got 2x plus y is greater than 2. You want a box in the y so you can solve so it's in slope-intercept form. Subtract 2x as your first step. This will cancel, bring down the y, bring down the greater than symbol. Leave these separate because they are not like terms. Grab the m, grab the b. The m is the number in front of the x, negative 2 over 1. Your b value is 2. I'm going to plot b first, so go up 2, place a dot. After you have that dot, go down at a rate of down 2 over 1. All right, and then the opposite would be up 2 into the left 1. Connect those dots by using another dotted line the way it looks. Yep, dotted line, so we go like this. Okay, now, it doesn't look as cool as it would on your paper, but you're shading, you're either going to shade above the red line or below the red line. Now it reads y is greater than, so shade above the red line. Now above the red line includes all of this, except this time instead of the horizontal squiggles, I'm going to do the vertical ones. And it is actually really hard to read, but look at where the blue and the red overlap. I'll try to highlight that in green. This would be your final answer that you would shade in darker than any other part. This is what I'm looking for when I'm looking for the answer. And that does look horrible, but I think you get the idea. It is this section over here. It's a lot easier with your pencil. All right. Same idea. I am going to skip this one, but the top one, your m is negative 1 over 1, b is 5. The next one, you'd have to move the 3x to the other side by adding 3x, and then do the same thing. All right, so this actually gives you the graph, and you're supposed to come up with the equations. So y, and then we're going to go. Okay, so I'm looking. This is my, I think this is my answer. Yeah, this is darker than the rest. Okay, so I'm looking at the blue line right now. Since it's shaded above the blue line, I know it's greater than or equal to because it's a solid line. My b value is down here at negative 1, so I got negative 1 for my b value. And my slope, I just read, you just count rise over run. Up 2 over 2, or you can just go up 1 over 1. Either way, it's 1x. Now I'm focusing on the red line. I notice it's shaded below the red line, so I'm going to start off by going y is less than, because it's dotted, it's just less than. My b value, I actually have to erase this so I can see my b value. It is up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's up 5. And I just have to find my slope. It goes down at a rate of, looks like down 1. Sorry, I'm trying to point out where I'm starting and where I'm going. I'm starting counting here. I'm going down 1 over 2. So down 1 over 2x, and that would be my answer for those two. All right. Okay, so a word problem here. You can spend at most 6 hours playing basketball and doing homework. So that's a combination of the two. It is important that basketball represents X. I could use B, but when you graph, you usually use X and Y. And homework is represented by Y. Okay, so you can spend at most 6 hours playing basketball and homework. So we got X plus Y. Together, you can spend at most 6 hours. So 6 hours or less. And that would, I said 6 hours or less, so that's why it gets a line underneath there. You want to spend less than 2 hours playing basketball. Basketball is S, X, less than, so we got to go less than 2 hours. That's the next one, and the last one. At least an hour and a half doing homework. Homework is Y. So if you have to spend at least an hour and a half, 1.5, and that one would get a line underneath it because it is at least 1.5. Okay, now the graphing. When you graph the first one, you'd solve for Y. So Y is less than or equal to. You move the X over by subtracting X from both sides. Subtract X plus 6. For the second one, this one right here, you would make a t-table, and that would be the same thing for that last one here. Let's graph the first one. You go up 6, place a dot. After you have that dot, you go down at a rate of down 1 over 1. This is a solid line. Make a couple of those. The shading on this one is not going to be pretty. It's hard to show you the correct thing on here. But it is less than or equal to, so I shade beneath it. I will use some horizontal squiggly lines here to kind of get that going. Okay, the next one. X is less than 2. Make a t-table with X and Y. 2 goes in place of the X. 0, 1, 2 goes in place of the Y. The coordinates for that one would be at 2, 0. 2, 1, 2, 2. This would be a dotted line. And you're either going to shade to the left or to the right of it. In this case, you would shade, it says X is less than, so I would shade to the left of the green line. Like I said, this is going to look crazy. If I shade to the left of the entire green line, I make some verticals like that, and there you go. Now I'm only focused on where it doubles up, and I can tell already this is a hard one to read. All right, so it's doubled up in this area. I'll try to box it in for you. From there to there, this part over here is the part that's doubled up. Everything to the right is not. And the last one, and this is going to get just kind of sloppy here. So we got X and Y. It's a lot easier with your pencil. Y is 1.5, 1.5, 1.5, 0, 1, and a 2. So plot those points. Let's see if I can get those in red. See if it show up. 0, 1.5 is up 1.5 right there. 1, 1.5. There we go. There it is. It is a solid line. And we want to go above it or beneath it. In this case, we want to go above it. Oh boy. Above the red line. Let's go at a diagonal. This is above the line. But we were cared about where it triples up. It sure looks like this area here is tripled up right there. Okay, so when you shade, shade lightly. When you get to the next one, shade a little, shade lightly again, but where it doubles up, shade the darkest. Okay, and that is the lesson. So if you have any questions, you can rewatch the video or come and see me and be glad to help you out. Have a great day.